Today, I'm going to show you guys how you can make some super easy chicken teriyaki and miso soup at home. This is an extremely versatile dish. It's great for date nights, meal prep, a weekend dinner. It's perfect for all occasions. Let's get into it. First, I'm going to show you guys how to make the rice, and then we're going to go into the chicken marinade, cooking the chicken, the sauce, and then finally the miso soup. So to start off with the rice, we're going to be using some short grain white rice here. I'm going in with about 2 cups, and I really recommend going to your local Asian market to try to find one of these big bags of rice on a discount. This entire bag was like 15 bucks, and it's going to last me forever. After washing and rinsing your rice a few times, we're going to make sure that the water level is right, either using the measurements on your rice cooker or the finger method. We're going to throw in a few aromatics here to give our rice a little bit more character. First, we're going to throw in a 1-inch knob of ginger, a few shakes of sesame oil, a good pinch of salt, and then one 3-inch slice of the white part of a green onion that I cut in half. Throw the lid on and then put this in the rice cooker. Once your rice is done cooking, make sure to remove your aromatics left in the rice and give this a little fluff. This is very important in making sure that the rice has a chance to fully cook and to develop a nice individualized texture. Don't try to rough it up too much here because you might accidentally mush some of the rice while it's still pretty wet. I recommend steaming this for about 5 minutes after you cook it. Now, a little disclaimer before we get into the chicken marinade. This is not an authentic chicken teriyaki recipe. In fact, I did not even plan for this to be like chicken teriyaki. It just kind of ended up tasting like it, so I'm going to call it chicken teriyaki. First, I'm going to remove the chicken thighs from the package and place them into a large bowl. And with a paper towel, we're just going to pat these dry. Before we season with the wet marinade, we're going to first season these up with salt, a little bit of pepper, and some garlic powder since I don't have actual garlic. Now we're going in with equal parts soy sauce to mirin. I'm using half a cup of soy sauce and half a cup of mirin for roughly 5 chicken thighs, or about 1.3 pounds of chicken thighs. Next, I'm going to add a few dashes, about 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and then 2 to 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then we're going to give this a nice mix with our hands, and while you're mixing, make sure to open up the chicken thighs to ensure that we have maximum surface area to marinade coverage. Once you're done mixing by hand, go ahead and grab some saran wrap, cover it, and let this sit for 30 minutes to up to overnight. Of course, the longer you wait, the better it's going to be. To cook the chicken, you can use a grill, you can use an air fryer. I'm just going to use a pan. I'm going to hit this pan with a little bit of spray oil, and over medium-high heat, we're going to sear off these chicken thighs. We're aiming for about 3 minutes per side. Typically, if you're cooking your chicken thighs and they're already golden brown or almost caramelized on the other side, and it's only been about a minute, your heat is probably a little bit too high. I tend to find that 3 minutes per side usually works 99% of the time. Once you've got some nice color on your chicken thighs like here, go ahead and take these out of the pan. Make sure they get a nice rest 5 to 10 minutes, and then repeat with the rest of your chicken. For the sauce, we're going to be basically using the same ingredients as we did for the marinade. I eyeballed about half a cup of soy sauce and then 1/3 cup of mirin. The ratio just depends on how sweet versus how salty and savory you want your sauce to be. Then I threw in a thin 1-inch slice of ginger, some garlic powder, sesame seeds, about a tablespoon of honey, or you can use maple syrup. Then we're going to bring this to a boil and reduce for 5 to 10 minutes. To help thicken and give a nice glossy texture, we're adding just a little bit of cornstarch slurry until we reach the consistency that we're looking for. Moving right along into our miso soup, we're going to start with just a little bit of prep, beginning with some soft tofu. The first step you should always do when handling tofu is to drain it. So after making a little slit on the top part of our container, we're going to drain this tofu and then give it a nice pat dry with paper towels. Since we're not trying to make this tofu crispy, we don't have to be too perfect on drying the tofu, as it is going in soup anyways. Once the majority of the water has been drained and dried from our tofu, we're going to slice it up. Now, the reason I really like making miso soup at home is because I can control the size of my tofu pieces. I like my miso soup to have a lot of tofu and to have big pieces of tofu. So here I made 1 midline cut, and then I made 3 vertical and then 4 horizontal slashes. Once you've got nice bite-sized pieces like so, we're going to move these onto a sheet of paper towels. This is because as they sit, more moisture is going to drain out of them, and we want the paper towel to catch that so it doesn't get on our counter. The only other thing that you will need to use your knife for are these green onions. Now I only want the greens of the green onions, so I'm going to use the whites that I just cut off there to go into my rice. And then from here, we're just going to chop our green onions up as fine or as large as you want them. A little tip I have for you guys with green onions is to keep a container of them frozen in the freezer. This is great for when you don't want your green onions to go bad. They hold up great in the freezer, and they also defrost very quickly. Now we're going to need 3 specialty items for our miso soup. First off is miso paste, red miso paste to be specific. The second item is going to be seaweed or wakame. I actually had to go to Whole Foods to find this one. And the last thing is either dashi or dashi stock powder. These 3 things are what make miso soup miso soup. So we're going to grab these and move over to the stove because it is time to start cooking. To a large pot, I am heating up 8 cups of water. We do not want this to boil. I cannot stress that enough. If you boil it, you're going to ruin the miso. We're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of dashi powder depending on your preference. And then typically you use a colander or a sieve to mix in your miso paste. But since I don't have either of those, I used my potato ricer. Now you don't have to use either of these tools to help you mix in your miso. It's just going to provide a much smoother and easier time getting the miso to fully dissolve into your broth. And again, keep an eye on the temperature of this because we do not want this water to boil. Once you are done mixing in your miso into your dashi, you should be left with this tan, cloudy broth. Now I recommend following whatever the miso packet instructions say for the amount of miso paste to water ratio. Mine said 1 tablespoon to 1 cup of water, which would have put me at 8 tablespoons of miso. After 5, I decided to give it a taste test. I think it needed a little bit more, so I ended up putting in 6 tablespoons of miso for 8 cups of water. If you are unfamiliar with the taste of miso like I am, think about trying to balance out the dashi stock. You will be able to clearly taste that dashi stock, and if you want less of that dashi taste, add more miso. Now we're going to throw in our tofu and about half of the bag of seaweed, and then I went in with like 2 handfuls of green onions. Be wary, the seaweed is going to expand a lot when it heats up and absorbs the water, so don't get thrown off by the small pieces at first. You can see here it's already starting to expand. And our goal right now is to just warm up our vegetables and our tofu. We don't actually need to cook any of these. But in the end, you should be left with this delicious, warm, comforting miso soup. For the plating, I decided to be a little bit fancy today and bring out my ceramic tray and bowl. I'm gonna put some of the teriyaki sauce in the bowl, and then we're going to lay in our sliced chicken thighs onto our tray. For garnishes, I threw a little bit more green onion onto the teriyaki sauce. And I also put in some everything but the bagel seasoning on both the chicken and the sauce. Into a large bowl, we're gonna throw in our rice, and then we're going to ladle in our miso soup into a separate bowl. And that is all the plating that you need to do. All that's left to do is to enjoy. The texture of the chicken thigh after marinating it in the mirin and the soy sauce is so good. It keeps the chicken juicy yet firm. The aromatics in our rice complement the flavors of the other dishes so well. And the miso soup is just so comforting. This meal is just very clean and it feels good to eat. And it really does make you feel like you're a great chef after you make it.